Hello, welcome back to our series on the HP 2645 terminals. And in the previous videos we actually used it to display all kind of fancy tables and mathematical equations. But today we're going to try to play with it, and I mean really play, because apparently there is a way to run some game programs on it. Like this. Or like this. Or like that. So wait a second, how is that possible that you can play game on what's supposed to be a dumb terminal? Well, you know, it's dumb, but not that dumb, because the processor in it is this Intel 8080 8-bit processor. So it is at least as intelligent as one of the first 8-bit microcomputers. And what happened is that people use a backdoor to run binary programs on it. You see, if you look at the manual, at the back pages, and they give a list of all the escape codes that you use to program the thing, to do the fancy lettering and the formats and moving the cursor here. And there is one that's very cryptic in here in the middle. It says escape %B, and it says HP diagnostics only. So let's try it. Escape %B. And when you do that, on the upper left here, it tells you that you have entered the secret loader mode. And basically, this is the backdoor that the HP technician used to run binary programs for test purposes. And what it does, I'll show you in a minute, it allows you to load specific memory locations with assembly instructions and then construct little assembly programs and run it. And the game people use the same backdoor, so they probably must have been the original engineers that worked on this machine to know all this. So to show you what one of those programs look like, I'm going to put the terminal in the display function mode. And the display function, the keys, this is escape and B, they don't execute, they just show what it is. So all the special characters, they show up. So we'll be able to see what the whole program is, that's to the whole instructions sequences that is sent to the loader without executing it. So the program's on the tape right now, so I'll read a portion of it. That should be enough. Here we go. And the juicy stuff starts at the bottom over here. And right here you have the famous escape %B command, and that will enter in the loader. And right after that you have a number, and that's an address in octal, the little A's for address. So that will load the memory address. And after that, you have a series of 3 numbers. This is 040 in octal. D is enter. Basically, it will enter it into the memory location, then jump to the next memory location, enters the same number, then enters 177, and so on and so forth. And then if we go until the end, let me put the display function back on and continue to read. So there's a whole bunch of these, which is a program in octal basically. No hexadecimal wasn't used yet at that time. And eventually at the end you have another one of the address instructions. So this is a long number with a little a interpreted as an address, and a large E, is execute. So it basically resets the pointer there and tells it to execute from that address. And that's how you load a binary program from an ASCII file. So over here on my modern computer, I have made a little decryptor for this file, so I could figure out what they did, because most of them were horribly screwed up when you took them from the net. So let's open one of them, Invaders. Actually, that's the one that was in the best shape. And once again, there's a line of text I added and a bunch of octal stuff. So let's try to decode what that is. So let me remove all my text. The first address over here in octal, that's the origin of the program. I'm going to put it there. Remove that. And then the one at the bottom, that's the execution address. Need to remove it, put it in this little box. And now I only have octal stuff, so I'm going to do a big conversion to hexadecimal. So then we have the hexadecimal modern format, and I can use a usual disassembler. Actually, that's a disassembler for the Z80. But I wanted to see if this was actual legit code. And you can see it actually disassembles, but not as well as you'd like. It has invalid codes all over the place. So this doesn't look quite valid until you realize that this is actually data, probably for the little ships that are on the screen. And the instruction, the program starts at this address, which is FOF6. So if we go to FOF6, here we go. It starts here, and yeah, that looks like the beginning of a program with no exchange of registers. And now there's no errors. It's nice 8080 code up to the end. So that sounds very promising. At the end you have a little return and no op, so it's nice and clean. So you can see once you are in the executable portion of the code, you can recognize move instructions over here, jump if not 0, status, etc., etc. And sometimes you can tell it's making calls to the ROM code. Let me see if I can find one. So which tells me that the people that wrote that are the same ones that wrote the ROM code. They are the original engineers from HP. So now the only thing that's left is to put the file on a tape so we can read it on the terminal. And for that I'll use the same setup, my vintage Linux setup I showed in the other video. So here's the file, and all I got to do is to do set TTY 2400 baud. We don't want to go too fast when writing the tape. And I have the file somewhere. I just cat the file to the serial port, and here I will set the terminal in remote mode, and we'll do recording to the left tape, set it in record mode, and here all I got to do is press return, and here we go. The transmit light came on, nothing's written on the screen, everything goes into the tape, and just wait. Okay, it's done. Then record off, mark the end of the file, remote off, rewind the tape. Now the file should be in there, so if I do a read from left tape, it should do it. Yeah, it just went straight into the loader. so it read the escape sequence. And then you wait. And voila, we have downloaded our game to the terminal. Hey, die aliens, die. Woohoo! And I went even a step further. I implemented a little menu structure. I put the files one after another, and you can program the function keys also with escape functions. So you can jump directly to the game. So I have Space Invader, Hac-Man with a version of Pac-Man, Pong, Keep On Driving, and two others, Maze and a shooter. So let's go to Hac-Man, which is Pac-Man. F2. There you go, Hac-Man, enters the loader. You see nothing. I think this one shows up directly. There is Hac-Man. And I am somewhere, I'm over here. I'm this square bracket. And there are monsters around. And how does this one work? Cursor keys, okay. Cursor keys. So here I am, here we go. I am an M when I go down. It's blinking all over. No, I'm down here. Okay. Ooh, smack into the monster. All right. So 1Q left pedal, 5-2 right pedal, return to serve, and G to start. Return. So this one is very responsive actually. So it's the game of Pong, of course, and they use the line character set which I just put on this terminal, and it looks really pretty that way. And serve, that's return, and playing all on my own here is going to be tough. Oh ho ho ho. Alright, I died, I lost the ball. Okay, too hard. And this is Keep On Drivin. This one will drive you actually crazy. That's one of the toughest one. Very basic game here. Whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. And I found one more game. That one's a shooter, which is very simple. You just press the space bar and try to get the rocket over there, or the plane, whatever that is. Oh, close. There you go. There's a lowrider. Easy peasy. Then you have to look at the effects on the keyboard. It just blinks like crazy. There you go. And this one is a maze with a dragon. And it's actually pretty tough. You have a maze, and then you're here, and you have a dragon, and then you have to study it, and eventually the maze disappears. Here, and around there, and okay, and then you have to find your way before the dragon gets you, trying to remember what the maze was. Of course, I didn't pay much attention. And here's the dragon. So you have to lure it away. Oops. I'm dead pretty soon. Nope. Yeah. I've lost that. I've not been able to do it quite yet. This one's actually quite a good game. And voila, you have just transformed your $5,000 terminal into your very own gaming console, powered by all the 8 bits of the Intel 8080 processor. That's Intel's second 8-bit processor, but really the first commercially successful one. And I bet you when the engineers programmed this little game using the backdoor, they had no clue this would transform into a multi-billion-dollar industry, and that no, the 8-bit microprocessor would be used in very high numbers just to make gaming consoles. So you never know. The best markets are the one that happen by accident.